Hello everyone, good afternoon. Today got a little late to start the live. So now we are just ready to start the day 8 with a cute lion figurine. Okay, so that's the one that I had made today. This is just something to rest to show, but instead I just didn't want to put it down to show you guys. So I'm just letting it rest there. So that's what we are going to make today, and some of the tools are the Dresden tool and some ball tool and some brushes and basic modeling tools will be needed, and a pair of scissors and all that. Okay, so these are some of the colors that I had used on him. So this one I was just mixing yellow, just a dot of yellow, a dot of orange and dot of brown, and then I added a little more brown, a little more orange, a little more yellow and all that, and I thought, oh, this color sounded good for me. But you can choose to add just yellow, or you can choose to add yellow and brown only, or yellow and orange alone, but it depends on how you want the color of the line to be. I just wanted to kind of make it look pastel and not too bright. Okay, so that is just brown, and then I went ahead and made this red for the small flower that the line is holding, and so that was red magic colors, super red, I think. I added to a very little paste, and this one is the color that I have added to this part. Okay, so what I did, I took a little bit of this color, just a pinch of this color and some white, and I mixed both together. So this is just a lighter version of it. So I added white modeling paste itself to a pinch of the same color, and I got the lighter version to put it in the paws. And this one was for the skirt, and I took again a pinch of this red, okay, and added white modeling paste, a lot of white modeling paste, and I put it on the white and I kneaded it together, and I got the pink color. So I was just playing around with but instead of going and making another pink paste, that's how I kind of get the lighter versions, and you don't have to really go and knead and get another lighter version and add another color to get this. Okay, so to start with, see what you see here. We basically see when you make figurines, you can make them stand in 4 legs and sit down with hands lying on the floor, or standing with 2 legs up and all that. Okay, so it really depends on how you want to make a figurine. But for this one, okay, the modeling paste that I am using is Confect's modeling paste. Okay, so it was not gum paste, it was not sugar paste as well, so that was specifically for modeling. So I had used Confect's modeling paste, and I really liked to use it. Why? Because it is giving me the time to work, and it doesn't dry out like gum paste. I mean, the outer thing dries and it holds shape and all that, but then if it is dry for some time, I really want to work it up again. I can take and I can knead, and it gets back to soft texture again after I knead, and then again I can reuse. That thing I like about this paste. Okay, so it's Confect's modeling paste, it's not a gum paste. Okay, so this guy, I'll see if the camera is flickering, I'll move this guy out, or I'll just let the guy stay there. Okay, so this is the color of the body, right? This is the color of the body. So I'm just going to pick one. I think this will be for the so for this color I need for the body, the face, 2 legs and 2 hands, because the animals basically have 4 legs only. But when we are making figurines, for easy understanding, we call these two the legs. Okay, one leg is kind of fallen off because it is actually not in the position that it's supposed to be. Okay, so these two will be the legs, and I'll just make him lie down like that. So this will be the legs and that will be the hands for easy understanding. Okay, so see, if this is the body, and say I just pick out. So basically when I do, I kind of get the shape before. See, these are the imperfections which I will be correcting it later. For now, I just want to check the size. Okay, all this will be corrected. So if the size of the head and the size of the body, is it enough or not, or then I need to change my proportion. Just a minute. So that is the leg without gone actually. So put it back to Instagram. Okay. So okay, so I have two for the legs and the face, and then I don't have for the hands. So I'll just remove a little bit from the face, okay, and a little bit from the body as well. If you are very specific about the size, then you need more such paste. Okay. You need to be kneading in some of the same color. For right now, I'm not doing that, as you know, because I'm kind of rationing the materials that I will be needing also for some of the future lives. And I'm using different brands and different products only because I'm trying to use whatever I have, the stocks that I have, because right now we will not be able to go out and buy newer materials. Okay, so, and one more of the same color is this ear, right? So I'll just take a little bit from the body. Okay, so that is all we need. So for right now, we put them aside, so we know what are the things that we need and the parts, right? So now if you see that it is kind of dried out, it has all the lines and the mark and all that. So the first thing that you need to do is to knead it well. Okay, so when you knead it well, it'll become soft, and all the marks and the lines will go. And then make a ball and put pressure as you make the ball, like that. So when you put pressure and make the ball, all the lines would have disappeared and it will look like a very shiny ball without any creases. Okay, after the ball is done, the next thing is to make a teardrop. For making the teardrop, you put the ball in between the palms below your pinky finger and open your hands and roll it, and so you have a teardrop, right? So if you want to make the figurine sit, if it is rounded here, it might keep toppling. So you gently, rub it on your counter. Okay, so it gets a little flat, so your figurine will sit. Okay, you can also make the body flat instead of keeping it rounded. Otherwise, at the end, it will look like a very bulky figure from the sides. So I'm just pressing down on the chest part a bit. So that will define my chest part separately and the tummy part separately. Only if you really want to do that. It's not essential, but I've done that to that figurine, so I'm kind of doing that to this as well. So using my index finger, just rubbing there, I'm making the chest a little flat like that. So the back is also gotten flat because we are working. And the bottom is flat as well. The back is now flat as well, but that doesn't matter. The back can be flat. If you really don't want the back to be flat, you should be holding it in your hands and kind of working, but that doesn't really matter here because we are anyway trying and getting a cute figurine here, right? Okay, so that will be the body. So we let that to rest, and now I am taking the two parts that I had kept aside for the legs. So now I need to knead it again. In fact, you can put them together, knead it, and then make a long sausage and then cut it into half for both the legs. For anything that has been drying out for some time, you need to knead it well again. And now if I'm going to make, now I'll be making a long sausage, okay? So if I am making a long sausage with my hands, my finger marks will start coming, okay? So I need to be putting it on the counter and roll it. So that way what happens, and what if it doesn't roll on your counter? If it doesn't roll on your counter, either it means you are putting a lot of pressure and pressing it down. If you press it down, it won't roll, it will just move like that. You need to, kind of enable it to roll for you, and then put just enough pressure needed to make it longer. I'm just trying to avoid using my fingers, like instead of doing it here, okay, I'm flattening out the edges, because by making a sausage, if that edges are getting thinner, you don't want them at the moment. Okay, so now if this one is going to be flat there, just making sure it can stay down later. Okay, so now I need my okay, so now that's my craft knife. You can use any craft knife that you have. I'm just going to cut it approximately into half for two legs, and then just soften up. Okay, so now I have the modeling paste for two of my legs. So right now then you see the paw is a little bigger, right? So you hold here with two of your fingers and then just press this one up. Okay, so you're holding it here, and then you're pressing it up. So what happens, the paw kind of forms. So and then you are going to narrow down this part, and instead of keeping it round, you're going to press it gently like that. So this will be the top of your paw and that will be the bottom. Press it down, then you have something like this, and then hold it here with your two fingers and then kind of press it up. So you have this, and then it is rounded, so you press on the sides a bit, so it is wide on the top. that will be the fingers, for the fingers, and that will be the heel. Okay, so narrowing down here a little bit. Okay, so now I have two legs, and that needs to go into the body like that. Okay, so when you do a figurine like that and you have two legs made, you started off with a sausage, you put it next to the body like that. The rounded edge at the back will be seen as if it is an additional attachment to the body, right? And that may not look good if you put the whole thing together as a piece. So ideally, what I do, so after the leg part is shaped up, and you know that is the length that you want, and now you can decide if you want a shorter length, or if is this length okay, or if you want a little short like that, you can choose to do that. But all this excess will be cut. So now this will be attached to the body like that, right? So you need to cut out some part but at an angle. So if I cut it at an angle like this, okay, if I cut at an angle like this, and if I attach it here, this excess which is protruding out will get itself fixed with the body as if it is coming from within the body. So I just make one show. So here, instead of cutting it like that, I am cutting it out at an angle. So that I don't want it now. So it is at an angle like that. So you see the difference between this one and this one. But the angle will change for this and this. So this is cut at an angle, and now if I go and place it with the body, so it will look like it is coming from within the body, right? So this will go and get attached to the body like that. Okay, so now you see the difference between this leg and that leg. Okay, so this is like it's protruding out, which we are trying to avoid. Now for this leg, I'm just checking the length, and now I need to cut at an angle like this. I marked it out and I am taking it off. Okay, so that's how it will be attached to the body, and now that needs to be glued. Now if you're sure that you're not going to remove off the leg, you've done with all the work that you're supposed to do for the leg, you can stick it right away. Or now I want to make the fingers. Okay, so I just let it rest. So for the fingers, I just want to make I'm just softening up all these but this also will be seen, right? So this part also should be clean. Okay, so that is how it is going to be. So do the same thing here. So just don't cut at the wrong place. So that's how it is going to be attached. Okay, so your cut is going to be here and here. So you can mark it if you're confused. Like, I don't want you to take it out and then kind of cut places which is not the right one. Just removing the excess. So the two is done. Okay, and then I said, so there is this lighter shade for the paw, which is like, I'll make a small ball. Just make sure that both are the same size, and then I just put it in my palm like that. Touch the ball tool in some corn flour, and then just press it down. Now let me gently just remove. I'll do the same thing to this. And make another one. You can roll it out into a sheet and then use a round nozzle, piping nozzle, and cut it out and use that as a proper round as well. But it's just an idea. You can, just get creative. And now I want edible glue. So I just remove, and that's why I haven't stuck the the leg into the body yet, because I still have some work left. And now because I feel the work with my leg part is over, now I'm applying glue into the place where I cut, and I am sticking it to the body. Here you can make it rounded like that, or you can make it straight, or you can make it wide, however you want the legs to be placed. Similarly, glue to the other leg. Okay, so when that is done, it looks like this. This part will be rectified. I mean, it is not going to be like that if I place it down, but for right now, the leg looks like it is coming from inside the body, because we have done that cut at an angle. And I'm just going to let this guy dry like that, and next thing I'll move on to the hands. So this was the two parts. I want to put it together, and I made two balls because to see if that will be enough for the hands, as if when I was just dividing. So I'll knead it again. I'll make a sausage, so I might have to cut off the ones that are thin. So right now I don't want this part. I'm just going to cut it out because it just got a little thin. Okay, so what I have done here is I've made the line to be holding rows, which I will do to this one also. just cutting it into half each for both my hands. I'm just softening up the place where I cut. Okay, and here again I'll make the wrist, which is basically like the paw, but then because I've made it with 3 fingers, so a wrist instead of the paw. So I'm not pulling it, lifting it up, but I'm just holding it and then softening it down, so it is just looking like that for me. So that will be the little bit of the wrist, but don't make it like too thin. Okay, here again 3 finger cut. Remove off excess. Do the same thing to this one. Hold it here and soften it down. This is like very gentle pressure. Sorry. So this is like pressing down for the wrist. I'm just pressing once on the top and then using 2 of my fingers on the sides, and I really don't want to make it like really thinner than the rest of the the hands. I'm pressing this part out. Okay, and I just cut. I'm not going into the the inside. This part is actually not cut because that's not needed, because it will be hidden. I'm just removing off the excess. Okay, so you have 2 of the hands. Now the idea is to put it here. Okay, the length of the hands I will just check, when that could be maybe too long, or also it doesn't matter. It's like maybe the one that I have is like the elbows are close to the body, and this is like the elbows are really far off. The hands are like really straight, and it is just holding the flower. So for holding the flower kind of a hand, you want to make it look like I'm just folding it, and it is anyway going to be hidden, but just to be safe. That will be the wrist bar. You don't want it to be like very stout. So it's just going to be like that. Sorry. It's going to be like this. It's just like the 2 hands should come together like that, and then there is flower holding. So this length of the hand I feel is good. So what I'm going to do, again the same logic, I'm just going to cut at an angle, remove this excess out. Similarly, check for the height. Okay, and if you're just confused on what angle you need to cut, put it back in the body. So that will be excess. Now check, so this will be at the body like that, and the hands will be together like that. So I feel this is a little thicker. I just make it thin a bit and cut off the excess. Okay, so now I need glue, and then I need something. So the hands are straight up, right? So you need a support for it to not fall down. So what I was having, support like that, but I need something below that as well. So this is going to dry up in some time. Let me just look for some idea. There's some tissues. So just a rolling pin and the tissues. You want the other hand to come in there as well. So just let that hand rest there. And I'm adding glue to the other hand. I'm going to attach it to the body and bring both the hands together like that. And because the hands are going to be together and holding the rose, you want both the hands to stick together as well. So I'm just going to add glue. It is already kind of taking its place, right? Okay, so see from the top you can see, this hand is a little stout, and this, the way in which it comes from the body looks different. You can ignore all that if face is going to come, and most of it can be ignored, but if you really want to work on the detailing, you can do that. So that will be your elbow. You can use your wrist in as well. And just make sure the hands are stuck together and let it rest and take its shape and dry out like that there. Okay, so this I just put it aside, let it dry down there. And now the next thing I will do is to put the rose inside now when it is a little soft. So for the rose, what I need is this red modeling paste. So I'm just out of it, I'm just taking a little bit. Okay, just soften it between your fingers. That will be the kneading thing for this. So this is that that tiny flower how I made. So I'm just looking for a tool. That's an acrylic rolling pin. That's a really good one, so which you can just use it to roll in your hands, or you could roll smaller ones tiny ones on your mat as well. So this rolling pin is available with Omcraft supplies, and that's a really very handy tool to have. Okay, so just a thin sausage and then rolling it. And then put it into your hands. Now right now, that is a rolled rose thing, because very tiny like that, a rolled rose is a good option. So you're holding it in your hands and then gently just start turning from one end of this thin random ribbon. This long is actually not needed, but as I roll, I'll just decide how much I want and then I will cut off the excess. I'll just cut this out. That looks very fragile and dainty. And if your hands are sticky, just touch corn flour. I'll just see how big I want. I keep rolling. I stop when I feel like the size is enough. I'll just cut off here. I mean, that's like too much to do, but I'll see how far I can just get it done. So when you are doing a rolled rose, you try and show the the space, the layers between each row of this circle. So when you're picking up, just be gentle and don't press the top. That's like kind of proper feather touch. I don't know if you're able to see how it looks. Yeah, some bit of the concentric circle shows up. So now I want to insert it here. So with that support that is there, I just make a hole and I put glue inside. Okay, and gently pop this inside. So for now I'll remove that. I will support it using my finger here. I can use the Dresden or I can use that sharp pin kind of a thing. For now I'll just use the Dresden. I'm just making sure it goes a little inside. I'm looking at from the eye level, and from the eye level it looks good. Even the concentric circles show. Okay, so now I can let it be like that because it's kind of dried up already, or just because I'm going to do the face and all that. I don't want it to keep falling down without me noticing it. So I put that to rest, and with the support itself. And now what is left will be the head. So I have all these excess as well. And now, you know, we could have taken for the ears from these excess, but that doesn't matter. So now we have only the ear to be used. So I'm just checking the size for the ear. Okay, and this is all excess, right? So what I can do, I can put it back in the head and check just in case. If that head will be too big, then I can remove. But ideally, when you're making cute figurines, the head can be bigger. So I'm kneading it, making a shiny ball, and then checking the size. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to place on top and see if it is like really big. Also, I'll kind of flatten it up because the body we have flattened, right? So the head also can be flat. Okay, so it is okay. It looks a little bigger, but it's going to be cute only. So now we made a ball, right? So the top, if you look at this one, okay, so you see this part on the top is kind of narrow. It's not a circle. This part is wider. This part is narrow. Okay, you can keep it circle, that doesn't matter, but so just a little bit narrow down on the top. Okay, and the next thing, to mark the eyes. So looking from the top, just use a small ball tool and poke it in, and then you have just compare this guy, the mouth part. So from here I'm just looking for the center. From here that's what I did for the mouth, so I'm doing the same thing here. You can have a simple smiley, but it look good if, you know, for the animals, instead of a smiley, these ones will be a little more better to look at the figurine. Now I see, using a Dresden tool, okay, and then I'll just use the, so this was just lying out from the time I started. Now it's like almost 45 minutes I started the live. This one was not covered, it was just outside, but it's kind of dry on the outside. But now if I want to use it up, I knead it well, it just gets back to the consistency I want, which is like soft and back to use again. So now for the eyes, first I'll just make a ball and check if I am happy with the size. I feel like a little bigger one will be good, so I added a bit extra. I'm checking the size. Okay, that looks good, so I take it out again I mean, don't worry, it doesn't look cute as of now, but at the end it will. I'm just checking the proportion on both the sides. Okay, and for the other eye, this is bigger. I just want to check if the big one is good, no? So I just remove a bit from this because I want both the eyes to be the same size. It still isn't. Okay, so now it is the same size. Now I can just stick it in. Just a little bit of glue. Now make a proper ball shape. Instead of keeping it oval and all that, and drop it in. Flatten up just a bit, not too much, because you want it to be popping out a bit. Okay. I'm just closing the opening of the mouth. Okay, and then for the nose, you need a triangle. Make a ball, and then a sausage, and then flatten it out. Okay, you don't want it too long, so I am just cutting and making a triangle. That's a tiny triangle that I have. So I'll just stick it on the nose. Usually people do this mistake. The pointy one should be touching the tip. The broader one is towards the eye. Usually you tend to do the other way around, but that's not right. Okay, so it's like that. So one for the tongue as well. I've used the pink one, not the red, the light pink one. That's again a teardrop, or just make it a rectangle. Okay, a rectangle shape like that. So it looks something like this. I see if it is like protruding out too much, then I might have to, cut out the length. Adding the glue. This is dressed in two, so just put it inside. I'm not keeping it flat, but it's just kind of opening out. I mean, it's like, the tongue is just out. There's just a little bit of excess dried paste which I'm just trying to remove. That feels like too much, too big. You can remove off excess. I'm just going to press it so it looks like it's coming from the inside. Okay, then the other thing I did was to make the, what do you call it, dimple, right? Just 3 dimples. Okay, and the next thing I did was to use pink dust just a bit and brush the cheeks for the blush. You don't need a lot, and you don't need a very dark pink as well. I'm just going to tear up a small piece of aluminum foil. That's a lot, and I don't want it so dark, so I'm just touching a bit of corn flour in my brush itself. I have the corn flour box here. Okay, so that is some pink and corn flour. I'm just lightening it out a bit. So here I have the lighter version. So if I'll apply it and see if that is like really dark, I'll add some more corn flour, mix it up. If it is like too light, I will add some more of the petal dust. So I'll retain, I will not mix everything together. I'll retain some white corn flour and the pink both together. I'll just touch this. So I don't even see much. So I take some of the pink and mix it to the same shade. Okay, so that is looking fine. I don't know if you can see it through the lens, but in real it is caught up the color on the cheeks. So then I put this color aside. Okay, so until here it's kind of done. And then to do is eyebrows. For eyebrows I had used brown, warm brown airbrush color because I was not having the stock of my brown gel or paste. So what I did to the browns that I was using for the park bench was brown, and Groot was brown. In fact, I didn't have brown at all with me. gel. So what I have is the Merry color mist. It's a very old one, warm brown airbrush color. So basically what I did for Groot is I googled for what to add to make brown. So I mixed red and green together to get my uh, brown gel that I needed to my modeling paste to get my brown color for the Groot and the park bench video tutorials that I made. So for this is just the painting, right? So airbrush color is fine. So I'm just touching a little bit for the eyebrows. So this I kind of kept. Oh. I'm not trying to, keep both symmetrical on both the sides. I'm just kind of trying to make it a bit different, so it looks like the eyebrows are turned differently, but I think I'm ending up making it look the same. Okay, so I just not overdo, I just leave it there, and this I remove off. So that is all I need for the brown gel thing. So this is done too. So the next thing will be your mane, right? And then we put it back on the body, and then we just have the skirt. Eyebrows could have been better. I couldn't just look through from the top view when the camera is also hiding it a bit. So here is this main thing. So I don't need all of this. So I'll need it again. I'll just take some. Okay, a sausage. Okay, so when you have a sausage and you want to make it longer, so this if this is that rolling pin, I don't roll it like that. Okay, when I roll it like that, but it doesn't get longer for me, and the width also doesn't work. Really very even all through. So I basically turn my rolling pin at an angle, and then I keep rolling. Sorry. In parts. So this is straight, right? Instead of keeping it vertical to that, so I kind of work it out at an angle and work in parts. Just dropped it down. So it will get a little curvy, but that doesn't matter. We can put it back to a straight strip. And I need my knife. So here what I have done, I just try to put all of them together and just go around like a single strip that I wanted to stick, but I didn't like the way it looked, so I kind of cut, and then I took all the individual pieces and I went around the whole head and next I was like, okay, so I went so I'll see how it is going to, you know, work for me now. So I'm just removing off this rounded part. Wish I had cut some of this and kept it already, but yeah, you know this lockdown with the the household stuff that is there, and cooking and rest of all the things. By cooking, I'm just mentioning because I usually have a cook that takes care of everything at home, and now we're just on our own, and that's where a lot of good. Now I know what all the chores that are there at home and how we are going to manage it, and I'm just learning a lot of stuff together with all this. So I was just able to make one of that before I could go live, and I thought I should just cut down on the time of live, so I'll prepare a bit and finish making a strip like this, so I don't have to keep chatting with you right now and do this part, which is again taking up time. So I see, but I'm just trying the same way that I tried for the other one, which is like cut out like this and try to go around and check. I'm just going to still consider checking how it looks for me. If I like it, but this part I want to cut it off. Okay, so that's how it looks at the end. Okay, I'm just looking to the questions in the Facebook. What is the name of the modeling tool? Which modeling tool? I just missed out. I just removed off the comments to see what I am able to see through. We are not able to see the tongue part. Huh? That's how the tongue looks. It's like a heart shape, and it looks like it is coming from inside the mouth. Okay. Name of the tool. Which tool did I have? The craft knife thing. When you ask me again, Nandita, if this is a one, it's just a metal knife. I use it for my craft knife purposes. Confect, sugar paste, and modeling paste are same or different? They are different. Modeling paste is different, and sugar paste is fondant. Okay, so if it gets cut, that doesn't matter. I really don't like the way how it looks. I mean, when there is a turn, I mean, there is a lot of gap, which I really don't like. So that's the same thing I did. So then I made it like that. Then I cut them all into individual pieces. So you can run your pizza knife here, or if you decide to have individual strips, you could cut them all out and don't leave this uncut strip. Okay, so these are the individual ones. I mean, that's a pain, I know, but then I liked how it looked. So I have the individual ones in different sizes. So now I just hold this guy in my hand. Okay, so okay, before this we're supposed to have the ears, because the mane is supposed to come behind the ears. I just finish off the ears, which is like a ball. I'm just going to keep both the balls in my hand. Okay, and that's the lighter color which was put here on the paw, no? So you need that. Modeling paste is Confect modeling paste, Lata. Okay, so the lighter color as well. That bronze, the copper shade in my hand has just come from a brush that I had used yesterday, which means I have not been dusting my brushes. Okay, so that's they're almost close because the just color is kind of stuck from my hands. So this is the darker yellow, right? That's the lighter yellow. That is for the ears. I put my lighter yellow on the darker yellow, okay, and use my ball tool. The lighter could have been a little more smaller, and then I'm pinching one side like that. Okay, and because you want some surface area for the ear to stick, if it is too pointy it will not have enough surface area to stick, so I just cut this off and make the pointy side of the ear a little flat, and this one I just remove off. So that is flat, and this one is also flat. Okay, now glue, I can apply it to the ears, or I can apply it to the face where I want the ears to be. Now this guy, check. And now it looks like Winnie the Pooh or a rabbit and all that, but don't worry, it start looking like a lion after the addition of the mane. Okay, so now I'm going to add glue behind the ears. Let me just start with one side. Make sure you're not putting too much pressure here on the face. So here you try and stick them close to each other. They will dry, they kind of feel like they are going to fall, but they will be in place. You honestly don't want to add a toothpick or a wire into each of them. They will dry, but the one that I already made, they don't have any support. With just the glue thing, it is staying well. So you can put that guy flat on your counter only. And make sure the glue is there enough. Turn around and apply glue to the other half and go all the way behind the ears. The mane doesn't have to be perfect, but what I really like is close. The mane has to be like really close to each other and dense. That looks really good. they're trying to fall, but I can put them back in place. But I feel like the glue is not enough here. And see, because you're just touching the glue and your hands could get sticky. When if that is the case, wipe off your hands, keep it dry before you go back, pick up your the smaller main pieces. And see if using a tool will help. Glue is just not enough there. I mean, you can find your own creative ways to make the meme, but this is not the only way. It's just that when I made it, I liked it. So you can make, small sausages that looks like teardrop, like the rays of the sun. But just make sure, see, if it is like really very close together and kind of random. I mean, very neat ones, some of them which I saw for inspiration. How the cute lines are done. There were ones with kind of very neat mane, which is like the mane was kind of really very perfect, which is good as well. So this is not the only way, but this is the way I made it. So I am just showing you how to make it. But you can get creative, but if you're someone who can't get creative with the techniques and methods, you can just stick to what I've just made. I'm just securing this part here so it doesn't fall. I'm just scratching up this mane with the body. I lift it my hands. Some more glue there. Glue brand is Figurine. You can make your own glue. Half cup water to half a teaspoon CMC. Microwave the both together so they kind of dissolve immediately, and you can store in an airtight container and then use. Okay, so I'm just removing off the excess small pieces that I cut, and now I think it's ready to go on the body. So I'm just removing off the support. Okay, so the hand is kind of dried up fully. Okay, so that's how it looks on the sides, the back, and then the front, and that's the rose. Okay, so again here, in fact I just can't believe that's the last toothpick that I have, and how much we've taken things for granted, and now even half a toothpick just means so much to me at the moment. Okay, so should I need the whole thing, because I'm just going to use, so I really need just a bit, half of the face to go in, and just like I don't need the entire thing, so use a cutter. Just cut out this much. Okay, and I want to poke it through here in the center of the body. As I said, do not press it down whenever you have a wire or a toothpick or a stick to go in. Just keep turning it like that, and with that pressure you put it in, and that way you will not spoil the shape that you've made. And now once that is done, remove it out. You know why? Because you want to dip the stick in the toothpick. No, dip the toothpick in the glue, right? So that's the glue, and then you put that stick inside, so that glue will help the toothpick to get fixed with the paste. And now I'll apply glue here, because now if I'm going to put it on the line space, then I will not be able to dip this in, no? And then I also apply glue here, so it also sticks to the body and just not the stick. So I would have liked another toothpick, so I can poke it in here, so I can make the space as I usually do. I'll put this back later. I can just fix them back later. So right now I'm just holding it in my hand. I'm seeing. Okay, the back like that. Just working it in. Face is kind of little too big for this guy. Okay. Now I go and stick the fallen off main pieces. I'm just going to get to my eye level. I'm just not able to stand and do that part. I'm just using another one more main to just go inside to make it look a bit more crowded. These two are smaller from my eye level, so I'm just removing those small ones because I just want the main to be seen in the front, which is a little taller than the ears. So it was smaller than the ears at the back, so I'd removed it and I've stuck two more together there. It's kind of too scattered. Main could have been a little better. I like the one that is there. This kind of looks a little random, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so when I'm putting ears, opening out the ears a bit. Okay, so that's how it looks as of now. Face could have been a little smaller. Whatever I used is completely modeling paste. Yes, it is from the same pack of Convex modeling paste that I opened up and then colored, and I have not used fondant or gum paste or anything anywhere. But you can do the same thing with gum paste. It doesn't matter at all. Whatever dries for you. Okay, and this hair part I done with brown. I just need like really sausage, smooth tiny sausage that is in the teardrop shape. Make a ball and then flatten one side only, so one side gets tapered. If it's too long, then you can chop off. I'm just applying glue here and just slant off this guy a bit so you can see. That could be excess lying there, so I'm just removing it off. That's a bit long, so I'm cutting at an angle so it goes and fixes itself well there. Just a little bit of glue. I'm just making it sit. And then the last thing, I think we've come to the end, the last thing would be the skirt, right? So the lightest pink. I was making a very thin sausage. Maybe I just don't need that. Okay, so now I use a foam pad for that. The remains are kind of falling off, which I need to fix it. It doesn't matter. I'm just putting some corn flour. I'm using this rolling pin. And again, so make sure the top is also not sticky. I'm going to make ruffles out of this, thin strip. As you can notice, as I said, I'm just holding the ball tool at an angle to the strip and making it thin as well. So I just cut this off, cut this part out, Now I need my ball tool. So with the ball tool I'm just going to ruffle, but if you're using a ball tool to ruffle, then you need a foam pad. Okay, so I just go to the edges, half of the ball tool on the foam pad and half of the ball tool on the edge of the strip. Just keep doing the eraser movement, and then you have the edges ruffled. Okay, so that's a very not too wide, but doesn't matter. I mean, it's anyway going to look cute. Okay, so to add that, I want to glue up. I'm just going to keep it as low. Here also at the back I'll do, but then I will keep it as low as possible because it is a very narrow or not a very wide strip, and so I don't want to start from the front, so I either start from the sides. So I just start here and then I show what I'm doing. To stick, I just want to stick it looking at it from my eye level. Okay, and then I'll just lift it now to show you what I will do. Okay, so that's where I've started. Then as I go, I'm just going to kind of pleat it. So I'm just going to fold as I go. Though there are ruffles, but I want to give in more pleats. And this is easy to do if you're making this guy sit down. Right now the legs are not stuck well, but I will stick it after I finished this one. So here I need my Dresden tool to bring the skirt a bit down. The legs are falling, but that doesn't matter. I will put them back in place. That happens because I am lifting it to show it to the camera. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. So use the back of the Dresden tool like that to kind of smudge this skirt area and to make sure it's just in the straight line. So now I'm just going to make this guy sit. I mean, it's a girl now anyway. And I'm going to look around and check if wherever the skirt needs tuck in, I'm just going to do that and make sure the skirt comes in a straight line. Okay, and then what I'll do, I'll just lift up this part. Usually when you have the legs and then you're making like it's almost like a ballerina skirt, so I'll just kind of lift up here. You don't want the skirt to go inside and get tucked inside the in the gap of the thighs. So kind of lift it and say you want it to be like properly lifted. Then just have a support. I mean, you really don't need that support where you keep lifting it just for some time it just stays. But just in case you're using fondant or a paste that is kind of too soft for you, just add a little bit of support here so the skirt doesn't fall down and go in the gap. Here also I'm just kind of trying to lift. The fallen vein, so I'll just add some glue. Okay, and that last final most thing is white dot to the eyes. It's white gel color. I use a ball tool for this. You can use your brush if you have better control. Just touching the white gel with a ball tool. Wipe this out. I like this guy better. The face is smaller, but I shouldn't have added that extra, modeling paste which was there. The ideal size would have been a little smaller than that. And the mane of this is better because I cut it off immediately and then I started sticking. They were not dried out. But when I started making this, I was kind of, talking to you, and by that time some of the mane dried out a bit. So they were just not able to fix in place. But also because I'm holding it flat to show you on the screen, so there's not enough control. Okay, so I'll just let this guy dry, but it is almost dry, but it is good enough to even go on the cake at the moment. Okay, so that's how it looks. This anyway looks like a guy with a skirt. This looks better to me. Okay, so that will be the end, and if you have any doubts, I'll just wait for a few doubts, and I'll wait for you guys to make cute lion figurine. Say suppose you want to try out, you can make other animals as well with the same logic, and you can tag me in your Facebook post, and then you can share stories on your Instagram, and you can post on the Cakes Unplugged by Fondbites magazine Facebook group, where quite a lot of you have been making a posting, and just not able to interact with you guys. I'm just getting a little busy, but then catch you tomorrow with the next live on day 9 on the 20-day quarantine cake art challenge. Bye bye.